Sent from Disneyland, history in our hand. So much to say about yesterday and the decades we have spanned. Postcards from the park, this journey will embark. See what has changed and what remains on Sent from Disneyland. Sent from Disneyland.
Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland, Disneyland history, and more, with mementos, snapshots, souvenirs, and postcards sent from Disneyland, from 1955 to the present. Let's start by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in at any level to support the show and receive snail mail from my trips to Disneyland and from my desk, plus some sneak peeks and bonus content. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the rest of the e-ticket patrons, Tania, Eric Daniels, Monica Seitz Vega, Bill Dreffel, Scott Cagle, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Angela Reynolds, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, Patty Wolin, Ben and Noel Bruning, and Greg Gorley. B-ticket patron Joshua Bell, and to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Angel DeBlock, Daps Magic, and the Beyond the Railroad podcast. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has fireworks exploding over Sleeping Beauty Castle, with guests pointing towards the Matterhorn from the drawbridge. On the back it reads, Fantasy in the Sky. Brilliant Fantasy in the Sky fireworks burst over the Disneyland Castle every summer evening as part of the show in Disneyland After Dark. It's not postmarked, but was sent with a 12-cent Henry Ford postage stamp, Scott number 1286A. Let's assume they visit the park on Saturday, August 24th, 1968, when park hours were from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. The weather was a high of 98 and a low of 61. It's addressed to John Marcia and Dan Smith of West Rutland, Vermont. It reads, Hi, spent all day here. Great place for all ages. Went on lots of rides, ate lots of junk food. Today was cooler than yesterday, 100 degrees. Sorry, I'm a horrible postcard writer. I love the weather, zero humidity, and it's nice to be near the ocean. Not sure if I'd want to live in this area though. Looking forward to driving up the coast Monday. Should be beautiful. See you all soon. Lots of love, Laureen. While flipping through the summer 1980 edition of Vacationland magazine, I ran across an article titled Pyrotechnics with a Personal Touch, mostly discussing the nighttime fireworks entertainment at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. The Disneyland Fireworks show was called Fantasy in the Sky and started back in 1956. Looking at the postcard used for this section of the podcast in the book The Nickel Tour, the idea of having a fireworks show was suggested by the Disneyland band leader Vesey Walker, commenting that guests would stay and have dinner to enjoy the fireworks. A Pac Bell employee who was working for Disneyland as a summer job, Harold Mickey Aronson, initially set off the fireworks every night using a flare and running around a field. The original shows were around 5 minutes long. In 1961, Tinkerbell was added to the show, flying down from the Matterhorn. Around the same time, Mickey and the Imagineers worked out a circuit board and automated fireworks system. This put an end to Mickey running around and lighting them all off individually. According to the 1980 article, Mickey's sons Bob and Paul also worked the pyrotechnics at Disneyland. Add some flair to your mail by checking out stamps at Enfield Post. You can explore different stamp options on our Etsy site, grab some great deals by following EP Sunday Sales on Instagram, or create something special and have her design a stamp array for your invitation or celebration. You can head over to EnfieldPost.com and explore all the different vintage postage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and EnfieldPost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard also has the fireworks exploding over Sleeping Beauty Castle, with guests pointing towards the Matterhorn from the drawbridge. On the back it reads, Fantasy in the Sky. Brilliant Fantasy in the Sky fireworks burst over Disneyland Castle every summer evening as part of the show in Disneyland After Dark. It's postmarked June 1980, with the Santa Barbara Always Use a Zip Code cancel, and a 21-cent Octave Chanute Aviation Pioneer U.S. Airmail postage stamp, Scott number C94. Let's assume they visit the park on Saturday, June 28, 1980, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. The weather was a high of 96 and a low of 66. It's addressed to Oma and Opa Fabian of Cambridge, England. It reads, Dear O and O, how are you? I am well. As you can tell, I've been to Disneyland, which was totally brilliant. The weather is hot, and I'm getting a slight tan. I'm working in McDonald's in case you don't know. I've seen 2 concerts, and am generally fitting in. Thanks for the money. Hope to hear from you again soon. Love, Zorv. XXX. Music was able to be synced up with the fireworks in the 1960s with the help of the circuit board running the show. Roy Williams, as mentioned in episode 311, Sent with Mickey Ears, worked with Mickey to storyboard the fireworks to Disney songs. Mickey also assisted on safety protocols for working with fireworks. The Fantasy in the Sky fireworks show ended in 1999, but Mickey stayed on and worked at the park until 2009. This was after being a cast member for over 50 years, the summer job as a consultant, which ended with him being the head of fireworks in the entertainment department. He worked there while the Imagineers invented an air-launch pyrotechnic system to reduce noise and air pollution. This patented technology is available free to nonprofits to duplicate. Mickey died at the age of 97 on November 10, 2018. There's no window on Main Street for him, but at the 2019 Western Winter Blast in Arizona, they fired 50 golden willows, which were his favorite fireworks, and one 16-inch golden willow as a finale. The golden willow looks exactly as it sounds, a golden waterfall of sparkles that mirrors the image of a weeping willow tree. My incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is a craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern or 6 Pacific. Art Throwdown is a wonderful community of artists who love to share their craft, from creating sticker postcards and coloring techniques to intricate paper cutting and unique crafting. It's always a treat to watch a show and occasionally get some one-of-a-kind postcards from the group. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has a blue, green, and peach banjo stamped on a blue background. It's postmarked July 10, 2025, with a San Bernardino cancel and a 2024 Bluegrass Forever postage stamp, Scott number 5844. It reads, Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. Confucius. Thank you so much for the postcard, Mojave Correspondence Club. It's interesting that banjos have been showing up a lot lately, between Steve Martin's 80th birthday, the Kermit the Frog with a banjo appearing at the Oklahoma Banjo Museum, and this postcard, which was on top of my desk when I was looking for an incoming postcard. Recently, while cataloging records, I ran across one of my favorite Steve Martin records called The Steve Martin Brothers from the 1980s. One side has one of his stand-up routines, and the other side is just him playing bluegrass music on the banjo. I have not seen it available digitally, or any other physical copy like a CD or a cassette tape. This week's postcards became a bit of a challenge, since the one from 1980 had a hard-to-read postmark. I could decipher the 1980 and June, but could not get an exact date, but used the weather to figure out around when it might have been sent. Similarly, the first postcard, I used the context clues of the postage stamp, which was first available in 1968. In addition, the hottest day in summer that year, which was 100 degrees, and then referencing that the day they went to Disneyland was a bit cooler. The only 100-degree day in August was Friday, August 23rd, 1968. This episode was also a fun challenge to find information about Mickey. And now whenever I see the golden willow firework used in a show, I'll know that it's a little hidden nod to someone who should be a Disney legend, or at least have a Main Street window. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment on whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Sent from Disneyland, or my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent from Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney-related properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to the host and guests of the Set from Disneyland podcast. This podcast is produced and edited by Clocky McDowell, website designed by Misty McDowell, theme song was written and performed by Noah Sunday Lefkowitz. Take it away, Noah.